Today, I wanted to talk to you about an idea that some of you have heard before, but I wanted to just put a little bit of a deeper spin on this. So, the first thing is your selling proposition. Now, there's a difference between selling propositions and value propositions because, in my opinion, they ask and answer different questions. So, a selling proposition asks the question, why should I meet with you? Why should I give you my time to sit down and, in our case, discuss my real estate needs, whether I'm a buyer or a seller? And if you have somebody on the phone or you're texting with them, what we want to be really clear about are what we call our arsenal of offers. And the arsenal of offers answer that question. So I'm going to give you guys some examples of this. We put this on our site a few months ago, but I want to make sure that you all have this. But I would encourage you all to put something together exactly like this or just rip this off. But what you'll notice is whether it's a buyer or a seller, we've created offers. And like Gary says, MOFR, making offers for immediate response, that get people excited to actually meet with you. And if you're talking to a buyer, for example, and you just say, yeah, I'd like to sit down and walk you through the home buying process. Well, that's not really exciting. And if this person's bought and sold 5 or 6 homes, that's not going to get them to meet with you. So on the selling proposition side, I would encourage you to go review that arsenal of offers and then create your own. So no matter what type of buyer or seller you're talking to, you've got really clear, powerful offers that get them excited to meet with you. Now, the value proposition answers the question, why should I hire you? And I believe one of the strongest value propositions that you can put together are your own performance stats. Now, this may be yours personally if you're on a team, or it might be the team's overall, or it could be the market centers, however you want to do it. But let me show you what I mean by this. And I've created this for both the buyer and the seller side of the business. And these are some actual numbers from a person that I coach. But what you do is you come in here and you'll notice at the bottom, I'll put the link to this in the chat box. You've got value prop seller, value prop buyer. So this is the seller one. And what we do is we're looking at the list price to sales price. So my client sells listings at 100.3%. The average agent in the market sells them for 98.1, which means that she sells homes for 2.2% more money. Then you look at days on market, hers are 15, the average in the market are 43. So that's 28 days less or 65% faster. So she's helping people get more money in less time. Now we looked at her average sales price, which is $312,959. Now that was hers, not the one that's in the market. So I would recommend using yours. And so what that means, you guys, is if you average or multiply that number against 2.2, she on average saves sellers $6,885 at closing. Now, I want you to be very specific if you use this. You don't want to say around 7,000. We on average save sellers $6,885. And what we did here is I used, I kind of ripped the number from Craig Kellner because he's a listing stud. And Craig, I think this year is probably going to do 140, 150 units. And so if Craig does 140 units and these are his performance stats, then this year, his people have saved $963,914. So that is all money that stayed on the balance sheet of his sellers instead of transferring to the balance sheet of buyers. And so what happens down here is it just forms this into a story for you. I sell homes for 2.2% more than the average agent, which based on our average sales price is $6,885 more at closing for my clients. That means I've saved my clients approximately $963,914 over the past 12 months. And I sell homes in 28 days less, which is 65% faster than my competition. So it will just automatically break this down. Now, if you're not doing 140 units, so let's just say it's 41, right? On the listing side, it'll break it down for you. Now, one thing I want to preface is that in some states, listen carefully, particularly rainmakers, in some states, you cannot do this because it's considered to be an earnings guarantee. You need to take this to your broker and make sure this is above board in your state before you start using it, particularly these sections right here. Okay. So there's my broker, take it to your broker disclaimer. Okay. Now, if I go to the value prop on the buyer side, it's a little bit shorter, but it's kind of the same thing. In this case, it was 97.1 versus 99.3. Now, on the buyer side, we want the list price to sales price to be lower, right? And so if you'll notice, I mean, we filled out basically the same numbers, and it's I help buyers purchase homes for 2.2% less than the average agent, which based on the average sales price is $6,885 less at closing table for my clients. That means I've saved my buyers approximately $963,914 over the past 12 months. So that, my friends, is a value proposition, because what you're doing is taking your track record of success and performance, we're not lying here, and we're converting it into a story about why people should ultimately choose us over other realtors, particularly discount realtors. And so I would invite you all to go in and, as a team, again, or as an individual, and put your performance numbers in here so that you can start telling the story as to why people should hire you over other realtors in your area.